What's up, clan? We have our final DLC to conclude all of the Skyrim trophies. Now, if you've been following along through all my videos, I hope you're enjoying the journey, and I do hope that they've proved useful. Now, with that out of the way, we're going to dive straight into it and smash this out. And if you're new around here,
in their tongue, he is Dovahkiin, Dragonborn.
Now, if you were following along, in our last DLC, we made our own house, we got all the trophies, and we thought we could retire. However, we were wrong. You should have received a cultist attack after you've hit level 10. And so you might already have this quest, but basically you need the Dragonborn quest. And if you did find these cultists and kill them, once they ambush you, then you're going to get a cultist order. Alright, so after you receive the orders, you're going to get an objective, and you just want to head to the top right of the map and make your way there. This is going to take us to our new quest hub area for the DLC. And once you're here, you can speak with this guy on the boat. And if you have your speech high enough, you can persuade or intimidate him, so that way you don't have to use any gold. Now, once you arrive, you're going to get a story-related trophy. And you'll be given a quest to search for information, so it's not going to have an objective marker until you actually speak to some people. So you can speak to this guy on the dock here. And once you do, it'll actually give you an objective. Now, I'm going to skip through all the objectives like I have been before. I don't really need to show you how to follow a waypoint. And eventually you'll come through a dungeon with a locked door, and there'll be a word of power on the wall. Now, this is one of the first ones we need for a trophy. There's only 3 that we actually need, so it's a very easy trophy to get in the DLC. That one's unmissable. And as you proceed, I thought I'd show you that there's a lock to open this door as you go further down the dungeon. And then there's one to go down here as well, just in case you somehow get stuck. Other than that, once you make it to the end of the dungeon, you're going to find your first black book, which is for another trophy. Now, normally you run through a maze type thing with these black books. However, most of them are pretty straightforward, and I'm going to show you a really good skip for one of them later on in the DLC. After you finish the black book, you're going to get a trophy, and then you'll just make your way to the next waypoint. Eventually you'll make it to a town. Just go ahead and speak to everyone, and again, following the waypoints. Now, I'll still be showing some parts of the quest, so that way you have a reference point to where you should be at. Next, you have to learn a word of power. Now, this one is just right here, and there may be some enemies. This doesn't actually count towards the trophy. The trophy is for the dragon aspect shout only, and learning all 3 words for that. But we will need this as part of the DLC, as well as for taming dragons later on. It's story related regardless, but just go ahead and grab that. Now, eventually you're going to have to use it on a stone. So what you do is you go into your shouts and press square to unlock it. Now, after you unlock it, go ahead and equip it and make a save. The reason you want to make a save is you can actually mess up a trophy here if you don't do it correctly. When you shout at the stone, it's going to spawn an enemy that can kill the important NPCs for this part. And if any of them do die, then make sure you reload the backup save and then try killing them again. If you're overpowered, then you'll easily just one-shot him. But yeah, make sure he doesn't kill anyone, otherwise it locks you out of the trophy because you need them to do a certain scene later on, and if they're dead, they obviously can't perform that action. After you've done that, you're going to be told to talk to Storn. So just, again, follow the waypoints. I noticed right here he took a while to actually start moving, so just be patient, and then eventually you'll be able to grab the next part of the quest. Like, he really took his sweet-ass time just walking over to the other side of the room for whatever reason. After that, he's going to eventually make your way to Tel Mithryn. And again, you'll just be following objectives, just showing you a quick overview of it all, so that way we can just smash it out. Now, after you speak with him, he's going to make you go to this dungeon-type area. There are some bits that I'll show, so that way you don't get confused. But again, you'll have to wait for the slow-ass NPC to open up the door, and eventually you'll come to this part here. Now, what you actually have to do is activate the pedestals with the cubes that you've grabbed throughout the dungeon. You can't really miss them, so I don't really need to show that. But after you've done that and you've placed them in the pedestal, you can actually go towards the stairway, and you can pop one on the bottom and then one right here, and that's going to lift the bridge, so you can go up the staircase. You can clear out the enemies and then go all the way up to the top. Now, once you're at the top, to the left is going to be another power cube, so we'll quickly grab that. They're apparently called control cubes. But anyways, you'll come back to these two that are on the pedestal and then go ahead and remove them. And you'll notice a doorway to the left. If you make your way over here after removing those, it's actually going to make the room fill up with water. And then you'll be able to swim across to this part here. Eventually you'll come to this main hub. And we need some more cubes in order to get past it. So what we do is we wait for the slow ass NPC and we go to the right. And you'll eventually have this area here. And just do exactly what I do to solve the puzzle. Because you need all of the bridges to be down. Sometimes when you press one, it actually activates another. And then multiple get kind of messed up. But I've got the order on screen here. And I've also got it written on screen as well, just to make it a bit easier. And there you go. All the bridges are down. Once you've done that, you can make your way over all the bridges. And you'll come up to this pedestal and you can place a cube. That's going to drain all the water. And then you can make your way down to this area over here and go through the gate. Or the doorway. This is going to get us another cube. So if you go all the way in, there'll be some really dangerous traps that you can just run through if you have infinite health like me. And it's really not a big deal. Use a cube to get in there and don't get bitch smacked by the gate, and then grab the cube. If you're not OP, by the way, there's traps in there, so yeah, be careful. After you've done that, you'll head back to the room here where it's been filled up with water. And Neloth actually took one of the cubes, so you do have to speak with him, so that way he gives it back. I'm not sure why he doesn't just give it to you, but you do have to speak to him, so just be aware of that. And then you can place all 4 cubes in the center. Kill the guardian, and then now you can make it back here to actually grab the book. You can only get the book once you've had the steam vents turned back on. This is going to get you another story related trophy. Now if you're following the guide, you'll be able to get all the missable trophies in this and make sure that you don't miss anything. Whenever you are in the books, you'll see these things that you have to activate, and then that causes, platforms to move and things like that. And then you just make your way through the books until you get to the end. For all of them, they're pretty straightforward, except for the one that I was going to show you to skip on. So I am going to skip through them, but you shouldn't really have too much problems with them, to be honest. If I did it, you definitely can. Eventually, you'll get to this part here, and the quest marker just kind of stays on them for some reason. I'm not sure why the hell they did that, but when you go to your map, you can actually see more objectives. And you have to go to each stone. So we'll go to this stone here. And it's pretty much just like before. You'll use Bend Will on the stone. It'll spawn an NPC or an enemy. And you just kill him. Once you kill him, you complete the objective. And then you can go on to the next one. So that was the beast stone. And you're just going to go through and do it with all the stones. And then you'll eventually come back here. And this book will sort of like... I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going. But he'll kind of, get hentai'd, and then after that, you'll see that you're on the Unlock Your Bend Will shout. And in order to do that, you just go into your magic menu, go to your shouts, and press square to unlock, and you can spend your dragon souls to unlock the shout. After you've done that, it's going to ask you to read the Waking Dreams book, which was the one that hentai'd our guy here to death. It's a fucking beautiful way to go, I'll tell you that. After that, once you read the book, it's going to bring you into this realm. Now, there's a puzzle in this book, so I figured I'd show you. Well, I guess it's all a puzzle, but this one might not be as obvious. So the first one here is the Gnashing Blades, because it looks like a fanged mouth, basically. And then the next one over looks like pincers, so you can put the Delving Pincers book there in its place. And then keep going around this circle, and then you'll find this one here, which was tentacles, so it would be the boneless limbs. This son of a bitch just snuck up on me. But you can go through, and you'll see the eye, and that's the prying orbs. After you've done that, a book's going to spawn in the center of the area next to that pillar. And that'll be where you progress through the book. Eventually, when you get towards the end as well, there's going to be a shout. And this will be another dragon aspect shout, which is our second one towards the trophy. So we only need one more of the dragon aspect shouts in order to get the trophy. Now equip your Bend Will shout if you don't have it equipped. And once the dragon comes in reach, go ahead and shout at him with the Bend Will. And there's a trophy to tame 5 dragons, and this one actually counts towards the trophy. Because when you use that shout on him, you can then press X next to him and you can ride the dragon, which is pretty cool. So you go through a riding the dragon sequence, and then later on you only need to tame 4 dragons, which makes that trophy a little bit quicker. Now, this part can glitch if you're too OP, apparently, is what I read. I didn't have any problems, but if you do, make a backup save and equip a weaker weapon. So that's pretty much what I did. I just equipped a weak bow, and then he got hentied, and yeah, that was pretty much it. It was actually like pretty cool fight though. And after that, you'll get another story-related trophy. That's actually all of our story-related trophies completed. So the rest is pretty much cleanup, and we'll be able to smash that out pretty quick.
Serve me faithfully, and you will continue.
Alright, after that, there's a certain place you want to go, and that is going to be down over here on the left side of the map to Raven Rock. We're going to be going here a few times throughout the kind of cleanup, so just remember that place. And right here, there's going to be a mine. Once you go inside the mine, speak to this guy, because I'm not going to say his name. And then if you go all the way down, you'll be going through like a mine type dungeon. You'll eventually come to this area where you loot a sword. Now, once you do have the sword picked up off this dead body, you just want to equip it. And the way you attack with the weapon actually gives you like a charge slash attack. Now, depending on that charge attack, it's either going to slash vertical like that, or it'll do a nice horizontal slash. There's going to be these areas that are lit up on the door, and those are the locks, and you want to just slash the way that they are lit up, and eventually you will have to do a middle lock. Not sure why I shouted at it, but don't do that. So again, some charge attacks, and you'll eventually come to just the middle lock, which is just a vertical slash. I thought that was pretty cool, but that's literally all I use the weapon for. As you go a bit further through the dungeon, you'll find another dragon shout. Now this one is our last one for the dragon aspect, so you should get the trophy there. If you didn't, then you somehow missed a shout, which you shouldn't have because I think they're story related, so that'd be a bit questionable. After you grab it, you can turn directly around and go to the right, and you're going to find another black book, which will go towards our other trophy. And I thought I'd give you a quick tip here as well with the black books again. Those scry orbs I mentioned that move platforms when you interact with them. If you're ever for some reason lost or stuck, keep an eye out for those because those pretty much show the way to go. I mean, if you see one of those, then it's more than likely the path to take, 9 times out of 10. Now, once you get back to the town after you finish the dungeon, you'll make your way to his house, which is actually a waypoint. And this is where you turn in the quest that he gave us at the beginning of the mine. So just go through all of his dialogue, give him the journal, and that will be a side quest completed that we needed to do for that black book, for example. Now, another quest we can do right here in Raven Rock. If you go to the forge, you're going to find the blacksmith. Talk to him here and go through all of his dialogue. And he gives you a pickaxe that we're going to need later for another trophy. So do not get rid of this pickaxe when we do get it. There's going to be a waypoint to retrieve the pickaxe. You go back into the mine and speak to the guy who gave us the quest before. He's just going to give you the pickaxe straight up, which is super nice. And then you can make your way back to the blacksmith, and then he'll give you the pickaxe. So complete the quest to keep the pickaxe, because we'll need that for the trophy later on. Now make your way to Tel Mithrin, which is on the right side of the map, and speak with Nelroth inside. Now we're going to be doing some side quests for Nelroth to unlock another black book. Well, actually about 2 black books. And you'll go through this dungeon that he sends you to, and I've got the answer here. You got eagle, whale, and then whale and snake. So eagle, whale, whale, snake. That should open the gate, so if you get stuck there, you'll find another dragon shout. Alright, after you grab that shout, make your way to the end of the dungeon and then grab the book. And you'll know it's the right one if it's called Untold Legends, and then it'll ask you to talk to Nelroth again. Now you should have done enough side quests for him in order to go to the next part for our trophies. And you want to choose the dialogue option, "No, I haven't seen Verona." Because when you choose that, it's going to trigger the side quest we need, which is called Reluctant Steward. Now, all of his other dialogue options may trigger some quests, but you don't need to do them for the trophies. You'll then make your way into the kitchen until you see this guy. Go ahead and select "Have you seen Verona?" He's going to give you a new waypoint, and then you'll find Verona's body. You can take the steward's key and then let Neloth know that she's dead. You'll then have to find a new steward. So where we're going to go next to grab our steward replacement is actually in Raven Rock. So you can head down, make your way to Raven Rock with the fast travel, and you want to go to the Retching Netch. So inside Raven Rock, there'll be the Retching Netch, and it's actually sort of across the, well, yeah, it's exactly across from the forge with the blacksmith. So directly across from him, if you go inside, at the very back, you're going to find an NPC. His name is Drovas, and he will instantly be the new steward. He has no problem with that, and then you head back to Neloth again. Now, this should have been the last side quest you needed to get Neloth's key. He'll give you the Staff Enchanter key, which opens this back door. And the reason we wanted to get access to it is there is a black book on the Enchanter's table. Now, this book actually has 8 chapters, and I know what you're thinking. That sounds super AIDS, but I've got your back. I'm going to show you this awesome skip to skip all of it. And what you do is, upon entering, make sure you have Whirlwind Sprint equipped, which is one of your shouts. It's like one of the shouts you get from the main game, and you should definitely have it. And you'll see this gate here, but no, we're going to just skip all of that. And you come to this little gap over here on the right side, and you'll see there's a giant gap to go over to that ledge. But if you Whirlwind Sprint, it'll push you just enough, and you should be able to outlive the damage that it does. Kill the enemies on the platform. Click the Scry Orb. And what the Scry Orb does, actually, it opens a platform in another chapter, which is further in the book. So after that, make your way to the next chapter, and then you'll come in this area with another book right next to it. Go ahead and go into the chapter 8, which, as I said, this has like 8 chapters, so you're in the last chapter already, which is amazing. It's such a good skip. You'll kill some enemies there, activate the Scry, and then you're at the end. If that's not worth a like on the video, guys, then I don't know what is. Because there you go. We've got a missable trophy knocked out. Now with that out of the way, we are nearing our final stages of the cleanup trophies. You want to fast travel to Skull Village. And if it's not daytime there, you can always wait around until you see the woodcutter, for example. And when you speak with him, it's going to give you a new objective. Now head over to the left side of the map and fast travel to the closest point. And you'll go through this area here with some enemies. If you kill them, you're going to get the key to get inside. And then down below will be the prisoner that's been missing. Speak with him. He'll make you go back to the Skull Village to return the map. And then you'll come here as well to speak with this guy. So again, you're just following the objectives just so you have a reference point. You'll be told to talk back with the Iron Shaper. He's going to teach you how to use the Stalrim ore. But we don't have any Stalrim ore. So what we're going to do next, we're going to head over here to the top left of the map, as you can see where I'm at. You can pause the video there if you need to, but this is where it's actually located. And you jump down inside, and you have that pickaxe from the side quest we did earlier. And you want to mine, like, let's say 5 of these, just to make sure you have enough. After you mine about 5 of them, head over to Skull Village. Once you're here, you do need to have smithing skill up to Ebony. If you don't, you can always use the exploit from my main guide to get some levels, or you can do whatever you need to get some quick levels. Now, if you do have the perks required, go ahead and learn them up to Ebony Smithing. You have to have that for this to work. Once you have that unlocked, unless you already did have it unlocked, then you can go into the forge, go to the Stalrim section, which is the new ore that we've unlocked. And I'm just going to craft a bow, for example. You can craft whatever you want. This one requires 3. and that'll be the Stallroom Crafter trophy unlocked. Alright guys, so after that we'll make our way back to Raven Rock. As I said, we would be going here a few times. If you make your way towards the south, there's going to be this exit with a guard nearby. As you can see, it's this guard here. Make your way south outside of the gate, and you can kind of see it on the map as well. It's a sort of one of the black silhouette markers on the compass. Make your way all the way south until you hit this farm. And upon arrival, there's going to be these enemies attacking some NPCs, and you'll instantly start a new quest. So go ahead and take them out, with style of course. After that, speak with him for your next objective, and from now on, as you're going to quest objectives, if you ever see a silhouette on the map, just go ahead and walk near it to get it explored. The reason is you need 30 places explored for a trophy, and we're getting close to the end of the DLC. There's like 70 places here, so you should easily be able to find 30 just while you're running through. Now on your way to the objective, you'll go through this dungeon, and eventually you'll find a knapsack that has a key inside of it, and you need that key to go back to this doorway here. Make your way back up top. There's going to be this locked doorway, and now you should be able to open it with that key. So just go through the dungeon just like I did there, and you'll eventually get to the objective. After you kill him, you go back to Captain Velith, which was from the farm. This is a quest chain that you're doing to unlock a house inside Raven Rock. And you can only do that after you complete all of these quests that they give you. So if you've done all that correctly, you should have the quest served cold. Eventually you'll be told to come to this tomb, and you need to wait for someone to arrive. If you just wait an hour, then it should proceed with the quest. Speak with this person here, and then it'll give you a new objective. The dialogue options don't really matter. You can choose whatever you need to. After that, you need to recover evidence by going into the manor itself. Follow the objective, and inside the final room in the very back is going to be some enemies. Go ahead and kill them, and then on the left side is going to be a family safe. You should be able to picklock this, and inside will have the evidence. After you get the evidence, bring it back to Adriel. After that, Adriel's going to give you an objective to meet up with a guard. And then you'll go through a dungeon, and I figured I'd show you that there's these chains here to go to the next part. And this part's right near those traps that kind of smack you in the face with spikes. And then you can take out the enemies in the back room, and then return to the quest giver. Once you do make your way back, you're going to end up speaking to the counselor. And for being a good citizen and helping them out, he gives you that house that you broke into earlier for the evidence. So if you've done all of that, then you should get the Raven Rock Owner trophy. Now we're getting really close to the end of the DLC. Again, you might need to discover 30 locations, so just start running across the map and find as many locations as you can, and eventually you'll get the Explorer trophy to pop. Again, you only need 30, and there's apparently 70 according to the wiki. After that, you can fast travel to Skyrim for our last trophy. You can make your way back to previous dragon lairs that you've been at before, because we need to tame 4 more dragons. So make sure you have your Bend Will shout equipped, and then when the dragon's within range, shout at him, and then that'll make him non-aggressive. He'll come down, and then you can ride on him. Now, if you did all of the story already, which you should have, then you should only need 4 dragons. Just keep going to all the lairs and finding dragons. And I'm not sure what the hell happened to this dragon. But that's pretty much it, guys. Once you get your last dragon to come down, that's going to be your final trophy. If you followed my guides all the way through, you should have the Skyrim 100%. I really want to give you guys a shout out. Thank you so much for your time, for the support. I'm really trying to push out as much content as I can while still making sure that I do explain things properly. I'm not wasting your time, and the quality is there. Other than that, guys, you're finally done. If you're one of my real ones who made it all the way to the end, why don't you leave a comment below that says, I am Dragonborn. Alright guys, I will see you in the next one, and just remember, you guys will always be
Dragonborn.
And as always, thanks to these legends for supporting the channel, Richard Watts and Samurai Zwei. I appreciate you guys. If you guys do want to support the channel, consider becoming a member today.